And that was Telluride Truffle's Black Diamond Truffle. You can catch that in their 14er pack. Lovely, lovely chocolate stuff. Speaking of things to eat, here we are with Stanya Gorraiz. She is not a thing to eat necessarily, but she is a local restaurateur, and she has one of the tastiest burgers that I've ever had, certainly in any ski town, but in general now.
Thank you, Colin.
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about that yet.
Okay.
We're not going to talk about Steamies yet. Well, what I'm going to talk about first, because you've been here for quite a while.
Yes, 11 years.
Yeah, and so, what brought you to Telluride?
It's super cheesy. Are you sure you want to hear?
Yes.
Okay. So my family was coming here. I spent every single year since I was little between Christmas and New Year's in Telluride.
Oh.
My dad's a retired dentist. He and a whole bunch of dental guys and medical guys had a big dental convention every single year coming from Arizona. And so Telluride was like a second home. It was always this magical, special place. And when I was in high school, I actually ran into James on the street. He also being on vacation.
James,
my husband.
Being your husband.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was 15, he was 16. Sounds very Sound of Music.
I don't know this story at all.
Yeah, I'm 16. No. So anyway, we met on the street. And turned out we went to rival high schools, lived 5 minutes from each other, went to the same church, just like lives were totally parallel and didn't know it.
But you met in Telluride?
In Telluride.
Okay.
Yeah. And so went back and, again, we were in high school. Dated on and off. I went off to college at USC in California. He went to school in Ohio. We both went abroad. 9 years of on-off being everywhere. And then we finally got married. And we were like, you know what? We were always vacationing in Telluride. We're like, we should either move there now before we get kids up and into everything, or wait until we're empty nesting. And life just kind of decided that it's time to just go for it. So we moved to Telluride.
And we're going to talk about a lot of things that you've done since being here.
Yeah.
But one of the things that you and James have done together, potentially your greatest achievement, is you have 4 children.
Yeah, right.
And somehow are able to dress yourselves in the morning.
Yeah.
And they're lovely. You're we'll talk about this a little later. You're in a local theater production that Telluride Theater's putting on. But your son, who has taken the SATs 7 times on his own, your eldest? Or
yes,
he
Max.
Yeah, Max, your eldest is pushing the platform for he's on set crew for it as well.
Total theater guy. Yeah, all my kids, really, we push. My background's graphic design and marketing. Mm-hmm. So, and James is landscape design and contracting. And we both kind of come from this really artistic place. And I've always felt that, arts, whether it's actual, painting and sculpting and that kind of art versus all kinds of medias, theater, everything is so important and lacking in a lot of the school programs. And so we really push that aspect with our kids, and they've all embraced it. They're all like great theater kids. They all love to draw and paint, and so yeah.
How has it been having 4 children? The age ranges are what?
So oldest is 16, 2 boys, 16, 15, and then 2 girls, 12 and 5. Okay. And it's kind of a running joke, like the way there's dog years, versus human years.
Yes.
Telluride number of kids versus normal people, kids.
Yes.
So having like 1 kid versus, in Telluride is like having 2 in any other place.
That's
having
right.
4 is like having like 19 and counting.
Yes.
I should have my own reality show at this point.
You should.
Yeah.
It's like you and Phil Rivers. He's the quarterback for San Diego or the Chargers or whatever. He has like 9 kids.
Right.
But he's been like in San Diego, and he's a quarterback, so he can just pay somebody to watch them.
Yeah.
So you guys had decided after having 4 kids and moving here and being in this beautiful place of your dreams that you didn't have enough to do. Right. So then you became restaurateurs.
Right. So we're always kind of foodie people. Like we love to, when we were living in Phoenix, which is where we spent the first portion of our time, and both natives of Phoenix. We loved identifying corners and being like, what would be great here? What would really work there? Mm-hmm. And I had a sister that started a restaurant, and we were kind of involved again. I was involved in like more of the marketing side, and we helped develop we'd be sitting around the table and she'd be saying, what would make a good appetizer? Or what would be this? What would be that? So I worked a lot on menu development with her as well. and then watch the whole thing come to fruition and be successful in the middle of Phoenix.
Like any really good restaurateur, you had actually gone through that process
Right.
in some ways with somebody.
Exactly. Like I'd watched her and her group do it and been a part of it, and always just been really intrigued by it. And it just fueled the whole idea. Like I must have in my mind had like 7 different concepts that I thought would have been great in Phoenix before we decided to uproot everything and move.
So how did you land on we're going to do a burger bar?
Yes. So, like you said, huge, big family, and
Yep.
coming to Telluride and visiting all the time.
Yeah.
You know, there's again just certain, like I always say, there's room for every single concept in every single place that's up and down Main Street in Telluride. Any kind of dining experience that you want to have is there and well represented. What we felt at the time 5 years ago wasn't well represented was something that was family friendly, good price point, high quality. Again, when we were coming with a family of 6 to come to Telluride, we don't always have 2 hours. Like, you've got a little one.
Yeah.
You're like, I got to wrap this thing up or we're about to lose it
Yeah.
here under the table. So
Yeah, Brown Dog is kind of like that, but
Yeah.
it's pizza and it's tiny and it's sports, and so half of the thing is always filled with people watching sports.
Exactly.
So it's hard to get into.
that's what I mean. Or a baked in Telluride. Or there's plenty of places that you can get some of this done,
Yeah.
but not necessarily enough representative of this particular type of category. So we just started looking at it and trying to figure out what we wanted to do. And we had taken a trip back east and had kind of been exploring burgers. Entering the burger market's a pretty ambitious thing,
Yeah.
because how do you come across doing something different and authentic?
Yeah.
It's pretty saturated. And we landed on wanting to try to do something a little bit healthier, but what would that be? And we were back east and found a place in Connecticut that does steaming, but they do it in a much different way than we do. It was really thick meat. We went there and we tried it. It was really like a really thick piece of meat. They didn't have a whole lot of seasoning. We liked the idea behind it, but the execution wasn't as exactly like I wanted to replicate what they were doing. I was like, how do we expand on this? And I loved the whole idea of it being a little bit healthier for you without being so in your face. So
And you guys created, and so I guess I want to ask a lot of questions. I'm a giant fan, by the way, which is why we've agreed to interview Stanya today. We're getting paid in burgers.
Yeah,
No, we really are. We're my wife and I are giant fans. It is it's a great burger. It's a lot like an In-N-Out burger.
Yeah.
In some ways, but almost like there's more to it in terms
Right.
of like the bun and everything. And you were just telling me the other day that you guys had just like gotten new buns the other day.
Right. So it's always evolving. That's the thing. Like I never think you should really be totally settled in your craft. And so we're always kind of evolving things and pushing the boundaries and go and taste, to sit and taste the 12 different buns in one afternoon trying to figure out what you want to do. And do we butter it? Do we toast it? Do we this? Do we that? It's all Colorado local beef that we use out of a farm near Boulder.
Yes.
So again, we try to source really high quality ingredients. We're proud that we can say that. And, the steaming process, again, it's healthier for you because you don't hold on to all of the fats and the toxins in the meat. All of that has the ability to leach out. When you're searing something on a grill top, you're searing all of that stuff into the meat. And a lot of people don't realize that. And you get a lot of carcinogenics and things going. I don't mean to say that, never eat a burger again. I'm just saying if you're going to have one, why not have something that's a little bit healthier for you? And it's better for the environment. We admit only 100% water into the atmosphere. And that's a legit thing. So it's a super green business as well that a lot of people don't realize. And we don't like to be so in your face with that. I don't want people to come and feel like I'm going to have a bamboo pick and some tofu today. That's great. But we want people to feel like you can indulge, but you can still have some healthy choices, some steamed veggies if you want, organic soda. If you're going to have a soda, why not have one that's organic?
Yeah.
Kind of goes with that
cane
whole
sugar,
thing.
right?
Exactly. If you're going to have fries, we don't steam your fries. We fry your fries. We use a better oil. Just some of those choices, those are all intentional decisions that we make. And try to make it a super fun atmosphere for kids with board games, music, TVs, all that kind of stuff that the
showing
kiddos like.
Showing all the sports.
Yeah, exactly.
All the sports too. Folks, I had to tell you, get down there, West Colorado, right?
That's right. Right across from the courthouse on Main Street.
Right across from the courthouse on Main Street. Please go down there. You may or may not see me there. I'm there multiple times a week.
That's right.
I want to touch on this one last thing,
Yes.
which is you're in a local theater production as well now. You've jumped back into theater.
Right.
You're in Telluride theaters since I Dreamed, but you're also in Dude and Bros, Get Real.
Yes.
And you've sort of come into the fold, and you're quite good at it.
Thank you.
Choreography, singing, you can kind of do everything. What's that like on the tail end with all this other stuff going on in your life, and why'd you make a decision to do that?
So I had been doing some theater, like college, and a little bit of community theater in Phoenix before we moved here. I really loved it. Life just kind of enveloped me with everything that was going on with move, kids, and starting businesses. I came to Telluride and actually worked here with Telluride TV for a while and hosted a show called Uptown with Stanya Gorraiz. That was a really great experience, and I loved it. But again, life just kind of took me in a different direction. I really got focused on business and kids. And just this last year, I was like, you know what? I really miss that outlet for myself. I really feel like I want to have that back in my life. And so I decided to audition, and it's been so great. Like, I feel like I found myself again on the stage and with everyone that I get to work with. It's been really an awesome outlet for me. So I love it. The productions are awesome.
We love to have you.
Well, thank you.
And we do some weird stuff, so I'm glad
Yeah, and I'm right there with you. I love being weird. It's great.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to Stanya Gorraiz for coming in.
Thank you.
Local mom, local restaurateur, local actress. You can find her at Steamy's. Go on down there right across from the courthouse and
That's
get
right.
yourself.
Come down and get some burgers. And we also have a place called Shake and Dog Grub Shack up here at the mountain, which is burgers hot dogs and milkshakes and all kinds of snacks that we've just started about 6 months ago. So we're just keeping on going. You never know what's going to happen next. We might have something else popping up too.
Stanya, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Colin.
Let's head over to one of our retro rides today. This is a music video by a local guy named Lionel Starr. This is called Footrest.